Hello everyone. Today I would like to read out the 10th chapter titled The Group Work from my manuscript The Map and the Eraser. The story is entirely fictional. Any resemblance to real person living or dead or to actual events is purely coincidental. I'll read out the story. It was 3 p.m. The school bell rang. As usual, the students formed a line to go back to their homes. The students from other classes were quiet, but the students of class 6A were a little different. Aaron said, I can draw well. I am going to draw the lines and the curves of my country with precision. Gabriel said, Yes, I am also good at drawing. My country's lines and curves will be even more accurate. Raju said, Again, lines and curves. Can we talk about something else? I have a plan for the map. We'll discuss it in the evening at the park. Iham said, Yeah, the oval one. Bintang said, No, he means the way it naturally appears on the map. Isn't it, Raju? Raju replied, Yes, we'll discuss it in the evening. He paused and then asked, Did you speak about the caged birds? Yes, I did, said Kadin. They had all done their bit in their own way to save the birds. But their voices reached nowhere except the four walls of their homes. Meanwhile, the stray dog menace was increasing. The irony was the people within the diplomatic enclave had caged the birds but not the dogs. During these conversations, students from other classes also felt encouraged to be friendly, to talk, to laugh. Gradually, smiles, laughter, and conversations began spreading to other classrooms as well. The ambience of the school was slowly changing. In the evening, the children met at the park to discuss the map work. Each one of them had already decided how they could contribute. Fen said, Aaron and Gabriel are good at drawing, so maybe they can help with the borders. Danish said, I can draw well too. Raju immediately replied, Be careful about the lines and the curves. Danish smiled, Yes, I will be, don't worry. I know what damage a slight error can cause, even here and there. Raju smiled and they shook hands. It looked as though the little bench in the park was already laying the foundation of diplomacy for the future generation. Raju said, As you all know, I can't get those lines and curves right, but I can draw mountains, rivers, and natural barriers. You've seen my drawing samples. We can include them in the map. Let's get a little innovative. Jacob said, Yes, let's get a huge drawing board and place charts on it. Then everything can be combined in one place. Felix said, That's a great idea. Yusuf said, For the borders, let's not just use sketch pens. We can use sand and fix it with glue so that the borders appear more natural, unlike the sharp lines drawn in every map. Jiao said, That's a great idea. Iham asked, What about the colors? Raju said, Colors always create tension everywhere. Calvin said, How about rainbow colors for each country? Jacob added, That's a good idea, a uniform thought for every country. And when the rainbow colors merge, they become white, the color of peace flags. Calvin smiled. I think this map assignment is going to be the best assignment in the school. When these discussions were happening at one end of the park, the sadness in the bird's sound was growing in the air. Tina, as usual, was at the park with Buddy. Buddy was naturally drawn towards the birds, but today there was a difference. Tina was with a group of friends. She greeted the students of class 6A and introduced them to her friends. Buddy, as usual, ran towards the birds, and all the children ran after him. Raju said, See, today the veterinary doctor is here. He is treating the wound of that bird. Poor thing, it struggled the whole of yesterday and no one helped it. Gabriel said, Can you see another bird there? It is also wounded. Fen said, Let's speak to the caretaker and inform them about it. And they did. Jiao said, I'll ask my mother to take some videos of these birds. She's good at videography. Maybe we can share them with our parents and show them the plight of these birds. Tina said, Do you think they don't know about it? They can hardly do anything. That's the rule. Raju replied, They can hardly do anything. They are diplomats. They have power and authority. I believe they can. Tina said, You may try. I'm sure it will not make any difference. Aaron said thoughtfully, I agree with Raju. We can make a difference if we try. The video might help. Outside the diplomatic enclave, the stray dogs were creating chaos. As the children were heading back, they saw a large van. A few people stepped out and began catching the stray dogs. Today, the dogs seemed less concerned about territory and more focused on survival. They tried to hide, to escape. After some time, a few dogs were caught and loaded into the van, while others managed to run away. The children watched. Finally, the noisy culprits are caught, one of them said. Fen added, not all of them, a few are still there. Raju said those cages are meant for them. When the birds are freed, we'll make a home for the dogs there. We'll treat them well, give them food, take care of them, train them, and one day they will become like Buddy. Buddy tilted his head as if he understood every word. Tina smiled slightly. Wishful thinking, Raju. Anyway, all the best. In a few minutes, all the children were back home, busy with their schoolwork and quiet conversations with their parents. It looked as if the little insignificant eraser was quietly creating its magic in the air. That's all for the day. Do let me know your thoughts about the story by writing in the comment section. Thanks for watching and thanks for your time.